Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, on the agenda for today, we have our morning update, which we're going to do right now, and then later on tonight, I'll be releasing part 2 of the 3-part series that has to do with Santa Fe. If you missed the first part, you can go back and check it out. It was dropped on Monday night, so go ahead and check that episode out before I get to tonight's episode. And in tonight's episode, what we're going to talk about is the actual trip to Zorro Ranch and what occurred throughout that whole day. I have my notes all put together, and I have a timeline from the time I woke up that day to the time I went to sleep. I took notes the whole entire day, and obviously I took notes when I sat down with my second source after my trip to Zorro Ranch that day, and we're going to go into that as well. But first, this morning, we're going to talk about an article that's been out for a couple of days. I just haven't gotten to it yet. And I think it's an article that we should read because it's absolutely ridiculous. So this article has to do with our good friend, the Prince of Punk Asses, a.k.a. Prince Andrew. And this article is from the Daily Beast. We haven't used the Daily Beast as a source in a while, so I figured we'd give them a little love. The headline is, Prince Andrew's go-to seduction move is to let women sit on the Queen's throne. Boy, this guy's just a Casanova, ain't he? Your go-to move as the Prince of England is to bring women back to the castle, the palace, whatever you want to call it, and have them sit on Mummy's throne. Then you, my friend, might be a fool. You are the Prince of England. The whole entire world is literally at your fingertips, and you choose to bring women to Buckingham Palace to sit on Mummy's throne? How about you get one of your jets or your helicopters or whatever, and you take her to a nice beach, or you take her to a nice dinner somewhere, not to Mummy's throne room, to sit on the throne. Okay? What is wrong with this guy? This article was written by Tom Sykes. Prince Andrew, a.k.a. the Prince of Punk Asses, made a habit of seating his potential conquests on the Queen's throne at Buckingham Palace as part of a routine to woo them. The Daily Beast understands, after a friend of the model Caprice said, Andrew allowed her to sit on the throne as part of a date. Okay, so, back up. Prince Andrew made a habit of seating his potential conquests on the throne? So what, this was like, he had like a script? He had like this goofy script that he would follow when he was trying to become intimate with a woman? All right, here's the deal. I'm going to take her to Buckingham Palace, and I'm going to let her sit on Mummy's throne. I'll definitely be in then. Well, I'll definitely be able to hang out a little bit later with her now. Is this guy for real? I mean, honestly. The whole entire world at your fingertips. Certainly all of England and London at your fingertips. And this is what you choose to do. You bring a supermodel to sit on Mummy's throne. While I'm sure she got a kick out of it while it was happening, in retrospect, when she's looking back on it, I bet you she's rolling her eyes and thinking you're an absolute clown like the rest of us, Prince of Punk Asses. Another woman told the Daily Beast last year that when invited to dinner with Andrew in his private quarters, again, in his private quarters, a modest one-bedroom apartment at Buckingham Palace, really? Really? You don't take her to dinner? You bring her to your modest one-bedroom studio apartment? Basically the basement of Buckingham Palace? This basement dwelling, Prince of Punk Asses, thinks it's a good idea and thinks he's going to woo these women by bringing them back to his studio apartment in Buckingham Palace and eating TV dinners with them or something. I don't even understand what goes on in this guy's brain. Then again, he might not even have a brain, or it might be the size of a peanut, because he is not the brightest person on this planet. She was also invited to sit on the throne and also led onto the balcony where she was encouraged to wave to imaginary crowds. What? Wave to imaginary crowds, huh? I'm sure that she was just gassed about that. She gets to sit on some stupid chair and wave at non-existent people. Boy, that sounds like a fantastic time. You're definitely in, Andrew. I am sure she's going to be beating down Buckingham Palace's door for a second date, Prince of Punk Asses. A source subsequently told the Daily Beast it was one of Andrew's signature moves when wooing. This is his signature move, folks. This guy has so much game that this is his signature move. I'm going to bring you to the palace. I'm going to let you sit in Mummy's chair, and then we can go to my studio apartment in the basement, and we can watch, I don't know, what old Jimmy Savile videos. That's basically what this guy is up to. Who does this? Who does this? This guy has more money and more assets and more ability to do whatever he wants than just about anybody on the planet. And instead of taking these women out to a nice dinner or, whatever it may be, a show, he takes them to sit in this chair and wave to imaginary crowds. It just goes to show you the mental capacity of this moron. This guy is honestly the biggest moron in this whole entire Jeffrey Epstein situation. This man is the biggest moron. The new account comes courtesy of a friend of the model, Caprice Bourret, who told The Sun on Sunday he took her to Buckingham Palace twice, and on one occasion she sat on the Queen's throne. She spotted a bowl she liked and asked Andrew if she could steal it and mail it to her mom. She claimed that he let her, and her mom loved it. So, if you're asking to take something, that is not stealing, first of all. Second of all, so any of these women that come through Buckingham Palace are allowed to just grab some trinkets and, send them off to their mom? I mean, that's what's going on here? So anyone can just go into Buckingham Palace with Prince Andrew and take whatever he wants take whatever they want whenever they want it? I just, honestly, this whole story is ridiculous. I hate even having a report on something like this, but what it does is it just gives you more of an idea of the absolute idiocy shown by Prince Andrew. This guy, he's not dealing with a full deck, all right? He is not dealing with a full deck, and this is what happens when you grow up in royalty. This is what happens when you grow up in purple. Everything is handed to you on a silver platter, and you have no reason to make yourself not socially awkward, because he is absolutely socially awkward. He is absolutely the type of man that you could totally see being just an utter just buffoon, and the kind of guy that is rude and short with staff. He is all of that. And you see something like this, and it just goes to show you the kind of guy he is. I mean, basically what he's doing is he's using his princely powers to try and woo these girls by letting them sit on the throne. Think about that. To all the women out there listening right now, would that work on you? This guy, he's going to woo you by letting you steal a bowl and sit on his mom's throne after taking you to his one-bedroom studio for a banquet TV dinner meal? That's going to work on you ladies out there? I highly doubt it. And it didn't seem to work on this lady either. I'm sure she, they didn't, the relationship didn't go anywhere, right? Although the relationship did not progress, the friend says, as an American, she was thoroughly entertained at the notion he was a part of the royal family. Plus, all the secret rendezvous, although unnecessary, were a great family dinner conversation point. Look, and as an American woman, she didn't need to sit on the crown to be wooed. You could have just taken her on the little tour of the palace, let her check it out, maybe get a peek into Mummy's room, whatever it may be. But the whole sitting on the throne thing and thinking that that's going to elevate you to the next base, that's going to be the thing that seals the deal so the prince can, get on with his night, it's ridiculous on its face. And how could this possibly have ever worked? Who could this have possibly ever worked on? I mean, jeez. Prince Harry, who was 16, was reportedly jealous of his uncle because he had Caprice's calendar on his bedroom wall at his boarding school, Eton College. What does that even mean? Who cares? Who cares? Well, you was jealous. Okay. Our source recalled that it was clear immediately that I had been brought to the dinner as a sex object. Andrew sat next to me on the sofa and kept reaching over to hold my hand. I said as a joke, I'd love to go on a tour of this place, and the next thing I knew, I was walking hand in hand with Prince Andrew through Buckingham Palace. As a joke, he took me out on the balcony and I waved to the non-existent crowd. As a joke? That may be a joke to you, but to Prince Andrew, that was serious business. He was on his game. He got done watching, one of those shows where the dudes teach you how to date. I guess he was watching one of those shows or called one of those, the PUA guys in to give him some tips, and this was the tip they gave him. I mean, because that's how ridiculous this looks. You are the Prince of England. What are you doing? What are you doing, you epic moron? The woman also told the Daily Beast she had been invited to sit on the throne, but we did not report this detail in the story at the time, which was about the connection between Andrew, Jeffrey Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell. However, when discussing the story with a well-placed source subsequently, the insider told the Daily Beast, everyone thinks they are the only person to get to sit on the throne. He does it to everyone he is trying to pull. So, this is, like I said, this is his go-to move, folks. The Prince of Punk Asses, this is his go-to move. I'm going to get you at the house. We're going to go to my studio apartment. We're going to eat banquet TV dinners. And then, for the grand finale, I'm going to let you sit on my mom's throne. What? The throne room at Buckingham Palace is one of the most recognizable spaces in the palace, as it is often used as the venue for investitures and other ceremonies. It has two adjacent thrones on a raised dais. One is for the monarch, and one is for their partner. Our source said Andrew invited them to try both. Well, why not? I mean, in this day and age, you might as well try both chairs. You might as well be the king and the queen at the same time. I mean, wow. Folks, this is so ridiculous that we even have to report on something like this, but at the same time, it's important to add to the catalog and to add context to the type of person Andrew was. He wasn't a man of honor like he says. He wasn't a man who doesn't lie. He was not a man to be believed. And he is still not a man to be believed because, as we all know, nobody believes you, Andrew. Nobody. They don't believe you in Washington. They do not believe you in Oregon. They don't believe you in Montana, and they do not believe you in North Dakota. They don't believe you in Nevada. They don't believe you in Florida. They don't believe you in Texas or New York. They do not believe you in Paris, and they do not believe you in London. The polar bears in the great Arctic North do not believe you, and the penguins in Antarctica do not believe you. Nobody believes you, Andrew, okay? And articles like this just go to add to that, right? Just adds to the fact that we know he's a smarmy, scummy person. We know that he's a liar. And we know that he's running around trying to use his princely titles to, have relations with ladies. And it's obvious if you look at the pattern that this man has set and you look at the way he's conducted himself, it's obvious to see that Virginia Roberts is telling the truth, while this man, this sorry excuse for a prince, this prince of punk asses, is obviously lying through his teeth. And that is what the evidence has led us to. All right, everybody. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. Also, if you enjoy the podcast and you want to support the show, you can do that by clicking on the GoFundMe link inside of the description box. Until later on tonight, folks, I hope you all have a fantastic Wednesday.